Here comes one of our favorite charter crews, the Mucho K, coming back through Haulover Inlet, and it looks like a pretty nasty day out there. Welcome back, guys. It is your host, Broncos Guru, along with our boy Wavy Boats down on the inlet with the camera, and it's this week's episode of Boats vs. Haulover. We do happen to have a little bit of a unique situation this week, as we're going to play a little bit of a sequence backwards. Our first boaters to battle Haulover Inlet are absolutely determined to crush Haulover. This is actually their third attempt to go through Haulover Inlet this day, and they get it right this time. They get this boat up on plane, they're running hard, and look great coming out of Haulover on what really is a rough day and what is on a small boat. I believe this is only a 15-foot Boston whaler, and these guys handled it like a pro. Even though this is their third attempt, it's a win for the boats. Our second boater to do battle with Haulover Inlet in this episode shows us what it's like when you're coming out of Haulover but you can't quite decide what you want to do. Here this crew looks pretty solid as they're exiting the inlet, but things change a little bit once they get a little bit offshore. Just after they exit the inlet, conditions change a little bit and it gets a little rougher, and these guys slow down significantly and basically just almost pause, almost as if they're having a baby on board and having second thoughts. Oh wait, they do have a baby on board. Maybe that's why they're having second thoughts. These guys basically sit here in the trough taking a beating for several minutes before they finally decide to turn around and come back in. I'm going to go ahead and give this round to Haulover because it does bring them back in. Our next boater to do battle with Haulover Inlet in round 3 is going to show us what it's like when you try again. This is actually the same boater from the first round we saw, but this is attempt number 2. Remember, the first round was actually their third attempt out. Here, he's obviously left his compadre behind for this one, but he's heading back out of Haulover Inlet. This is in his second attempt, and we'll do the first attempt just a little bit later on. Here, he makes it out okay, but it's a slow roll, but after just a few seconds of getting out, he actually winds up turning around. Once again, it's a rough day. These conditions are not pretty, and I think he decides it's just a little more he wants to be out there handling by himself in a 15-foot boat. But I do have to give this kid credit because there's no way I'm even going out in these conditions in a 15-foot boat, but they keep going out time and time again. And he makes it out this time, but because he does turn back around, actually I'm going to go ahead and give this round to Haulover. Our next boater coming out of Haulover Inlet always reminds me I can never tell if these guys are out there having a little fun or if they're really working. Here we've got one of the Miami-Dade police boats coming out of Haulover Inlet. Of course, these guys are out there in a pretty rough day, and I always wonder, are they really out there on a mission, or they decided, you know what, we're going to go out and just have a good time and play around in this stuff. These guys go out, make it out pretty effortlessly. I will give this round to the boats, but I still always wonder if these guys are really out there just having a good time. If you ever worked in any kind of capacity like this, let me know in the comments below. Did you guys ever go out there and just enjoy yourselves battling these conditions, or was it always mission specific for you to be out there? This is going to bring us into our 5th and final round, tied at 2 apiece, and who will take the win? Well, practice makes perfect. You may recognize our friends here in this Boston whaler coming back in for their 3rd attempt, but once again, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I flipped the script a little bit, and this is actually their 1st attempt. Here you can see they almost lose a hat coming out in the 1st attempt. Right off the bat, not a good start, letting us know that they probably don't have the boat set up to really go out there and battle Haulover Inlet the way it should be set up. This crew decides it doesn't really matter, and we're going to go ahead and give a shot at Haulover anyway, and they head on out, and they actually look pretty good. Almost as good as they looked in the 3rd entrance out, coming out of Haulover Inlet that we saw in the 1st round. Really, it's pretty incredible that you can think that a 15-foot Boston whaler can come out of Haulover Inlet in these kind of conditions, this rough, looking this good. And really at this point, when I first saw all these clips, I thought this was a win for the boats. I really did, but now I can't decide, and I'm gonna let you guys decide because this is what happened after that. You'll notice the bimini top's down, so conditions have obviously knocked it down, and I have no earthly clue how this kid's life jacket came off and he had to retrieve it from the water. Let us know in the comments below, who won this last round? Was it the boats or Haulover? Just like we did in the last episode from this clip here, where you guys voted and Haulover Inlet won last week's episode. Thanks for voting, everybody, and as usual, we'll feature a few of our voters right here. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Boats vs. Haulover. If you did, be sure to check out our other 2 channels. We have Wavy Boats, who gets us all this great footage of Haulover Inlet. My channel, Broncos Guru, we do some great comedy boating videos over there as well. And if you haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on that subscribe button.